Hey there people, so today I am bringing you my Terraria 1.4 Journeys and All New Items Guide. I'll be listing and showing all kinds of new stuff, including how to get or craft each new item and how to use them. I'll be covering all the functional new consumable and tool or utility items in Terraria 1.4 Journeys End. I will not, however, be including those that provide only a cosmetic effect, ammunition, bait, kites, materials, mechanisms, summon items, or most Gulf-related items. I've already covered the new weapons and accessories, so check out those videos if needed. So this will be broken into sections with timestamps in the description for anything you might be looking for. First section. Items that can be found or won kind of early in the game. So first one I'm going to talk about is the Sandcastle Bucket. And so the Sandcastle Bucket places sandcastles. It is obtained from water chests, ocean crates, and seaside crates. Of course, those are in the ocean. Water chests you can find various places, but the ocean crates and seaside crates you can fish up from the ocean. It uses one sand block each time it is used, and actually you can only place sandcastles on sand, interestingly enough. So let's just show this in use. I cannot place it here on the grass. I can place it over here on the sand, and there you go. You can just destroy these with your pickaxe. You won't get anything back if you do that. Now, we're just going to move right along. The next one is the the Snake Charmer's Flute. It is also sand themed though, so it summons a climbable snake which acts like a temporary rope and reaches up to 80 blocks high. It is only climbable once it is extended either to full height or when it extends up and runs into a block. It will then become climbable. You can also place blocks against it when it is in that climbable state. It is found in chests in the underground desert or again in oasis or mirage crates. Those are fished up in the desert when you're fishing in the desert. So let's have a look at this. The Snake Charmer's Flute. Boom. Literally summons that. And 80 blocks high, it's pretty tall. So I can actually get up out of the desert biome. It's so tall. And as I say though, if you summon it near, say I summon it by where there's some branches here, see, it'll run into the branch and it'll only go that high, so that's not obviously going to be very climbable there. So if it runs into a block, that's where it stops. Simple as that. Now, we'll move right along though. Next one is the Magic Conch, or Conch. I meant to look up how to pronounce that properly, but it transports the player to the farthest away ocean biome. It acts similarly to a magic mirror and can likewise be used infinitely, but it takes you instead of to your original spawn point or your bed where you've set if you have a bed. Instead, this takes you to the ocean. It's found in sandstone chests, oasis crates, and mirage crates. Again, those are fished up in the desert. Sandstone chests are found in the underground desert. So let's have a look at that. Magic Conch. Boom, it takes me to this ocean. Now, the interesting thing, again, it takes you to the farthest away ocean. So if you're already at this ocean, I can then use it again, beam over to the other ocean, which makes it immensely useful, actually. You can get to both oceans pretty easily and teleport around. It's awesome for transporting around, especially in the early game, but particularly again, you know, you only get one ocean pylon, so this allows you a way of getting to both oceans very quickly. It's a very nice item to have. Now, next one we're going to talk about though is the Demon Conch, or Conch. Again, I don't really know. I should know how to pronounce that. This one transports you to roughly the center of the underworld. Likewise, it is also infinite use. It requires a 3x2 flat surface free of lava in that vicinity. Also, it cannot have a background wall at the point of transport. Interestingly, it doesn't transport you to one specific point. It transports you like within a certain area around the center of the underworld. So it would probably take a fair bit of engineering to make it transport you to a specific point. I found when I use it, it transports me to slightly random different locations every time. It is obtained extremely rarely when you are fishing in lava. So let's demonstrate that as well. Boom. It's brought me here. Now if I go away, and I'm going to use it again, it should take me probably to a slightly different point. Oh, that's almost exactly the same this time. In fact, I can just use it. You can see it's like a certain area. I found when I was using it previously, it actually was kind of somewhat more random than it's showing you right now, of course. But that's the idea. So the next one we're going to talk about is the Encumbering Stone. So the Encumbering Stone actually prevents you from picking up additional items when it is placed in your inventory. It can be useful for farming events or doing extensive mining if you don't want your inventory filled up with junk that you don't want. It does not, however, block you from getting items from fishing. If you're fishing up items, those will still go into your inventory. It is also found in sandstone chests in the underground desert. However, apparently not from crates, interestingly enough. So just to demonstrate this, I do have it in my inventory. So if I, actually I don't have a lot of weapons with me, but here we go, we'll do this. You'll notice I don't pick up those coins as long as this is in my inventory, so that's kind of interesting. And then if I take that out of my inventory, boom, all of a sudden I pick out those coins. So that's basically how the Encumbering Stone works. It's as simple as that. It's an interesting item that could be useful for certain specific purposes. Now, last one I'm going to talk about in this segment is the Torch God's Favor. So, the Torch God's Favor is a single-use item which, once it is used, permanently provides the ability to automatically place the correct type of torch for the biome that you are currently in. It's toggleable on and off once you've used this item. You can only use it once, and then it's a permanent ability that your character gains, actually. So, this is important for maximizing luck, placing the correct torches for the biome that you are in, increases drop rates, affects damage, both the damage you take and the damage you inflict, and more. It's just part of the broader luck mechanic. Again, I did a video on that topic in general as well if you're interested. The Torch God's Favor is obtained by completing the Torch God event. It involves placing and then dodging 100 or more torches. I think it actually takes 101 for some reason to trigger it. They say 100 or more, but 101 seems to be the triggering number for me anyway. So you have to place those torches far enough underground, and you can see in my little obtained from picture, that's the way that I did it, is basically 4 rows of 25 platforms with torches on them is my way of neurotically measuring that out. And it has to be at least 200 blocks below the surface. So you get this by doing that, and then it's a permanently gained ability. So let's just have a look at how that works quickly here. So the Torch God's Favor, I do have one in my inventory. I've actually already used one though, so you'll see when I have regular torches in my inventory, but it automatically has me placing these torches when I'm in the underworld, fitting the underworld theme. I'm not even sure if these ones affect luck in the underworld. In certain biomes, they definitely do, like the Corruption, the Jungle, Crimson, that kind of thing, the Hallow, and so on. So that actually is a toggleable ability, and you can see it's right here. You can turn it on and off. If I turn that off, I can go back to placing regular torches. I guess I should be zooming in to show you things as well. So if I turn it on again, I'll go back to placing the correct torches, and that's a permanent ability that you gain just by using that item once, and that item disappears once you use it. So each character will need to get it themselves. So we'll move along to the next section in just a moment. Okay, so the next section we're going to talk about is fishing and Blood Moon items, and there's actually some overlap there because of all the new Blood Moon fishing related stuff that's been added to the game in 1.4. So first up is the Scarab Fishing Rod, not Blood Moon related, just fishing, but it's a relatively powerful pre-hard mode fishing rod that sits in between the Demonite or Crimtane rods and the Fiberglass fishing rod. As far as fishing power, 25% fishing power. It's found in Oasis crates and Mirage crates from fishing in the desert biome. So you have to start fishing to get it first, but then you can. So I didn't actually bring any bait with me, but that's just what it looks like. It is a fishing rod. How exciting. So 25% power. Next one is the Chum Caster. So the Chum Caster statistically is equal to the Scarab Fishing Rod at 25%, but it doubles the chance of fishing up special enemies during a blood moon. So there are special enemies now that you can quote-unquote fish for during blood moons. So this will actually double your chance of getting them, and it is dropped by 2 of those special enemies, the Wandering Eyefish and the Zombie Merman, both Blood Moon fishing related enemies that you can only get by fishing during a Blood Moon, and those are both available in pre-hard mode, which means the rod is, of course, as well. So again, it's a fishing rod, and that's what it looks like. But it doubles the chance of getting those special enemies, both the pre-hard mode ones and the later ones in hard mode, which is where it might be a little more useful. So, third item here is also both fishing and Blood Moon related. It is the Chum Bucket. This is a consumable item which is used to drop chum into the water, which temporarily increases fishing power. A single bucket increases fishing power by 11, 2 increases fishing power by 17, and the maximum bonus is plus 20 fishing power by using 3 of these at once. It has a 50% or 1 in 2 chance to drop a stack of these from any of the specially fished up Blood Moon enemies. So there's those 2 pre-hard mode ones. They have a lower chance, or a lower stack number actually is what you get from them. The hard mode ones, you get a bigger stack when they do drop it. So it just looks like this. You just throw some chum in the water. So again, you can do 1, you can do 2, you can do 3, and that's where you're going to get your maximum bonuses from 3 of those. So depending how badly you want your fishing power, it's not a big difference between 2 and 3. 2 is plus 17, 3 is plus 20. It only lasts a little while. You can see it there kind of slowly going away. So it's just a temporary fishing boost. Now, next item we're going to talk about is dropped during Blood Moons, but it's not what it's for. The Advanced Combat Techniques. It's a single-use item which permanently boosts NPC attacks and defense. It can only be used once per world, so it's not even like each player can get these. It can only be used exactly once per world to permanently boost the NPCs in that world. It increases NPC defense by 6 and increases NPC attack damage by 20%. So basically, it means they're going to survive better if you use this and get this. It is obtained extremely rarely by fishing during a Blood Moon. And that's the tie-in. So it's just there. You just use it and it goes away at that point. So last item in this section is the Bloody Tear. And this ties in because it is used to summon a Blood Moon. It must, of course, be used at night because Blood Moons only occur at night. And it can only be used when it's not already a Blood Moon. So it will summon a Blood Moon if used at night when it's not already a Blood Moon. It has a chance to be dropped by various Blood Moon enemies. There are a lot of Blood Moon enemies that can drop it with varying rates. There are a couple different rates depending on which category of enemy, but basically if you're fighting a bunch of Blood Moons, you're probably going to get some of these, and you can use it to summon more Blood Moons, and that's what it's for. So that's that section, and we will then move on to the next section. I thought I'd start our third section just standing next to this because actually we're going back to hell. So the next section here is actually lava-themed or underworld-themed tools. So first up is the Lavaproof Bug Net. So the Lavaproof Bug Net allows you to catch underworld bait. Specifically, there's a lava fly, magma snail, and hell butterfly, which are all new critters that have been added in the underworld. The Lavaproof Bug Net also makes it far easier to fish in lava much earlier in the game because it allows you to catch that bait. Instead of trying and hoping in previous versions you had to get the hotline fishing hook and that was your only option. So this allows you to catch special bait that's been added to the game, and that allows you to fish in lava much earlier. It's crafted from a regular bug net and 15 hellstone bars at a hell forge. So as soon as you get the ability to get hellstone, then you can craft this. So just to show you, well, it's a bug net, but it can catch stuff down here. So you'll see those little snails wandering around and butterflies and flies down in the underworld, and that's what it allows you to catch. Simple as that. Next up is the Bottomless Lava Bucket. So this is basically the counterpart to the Bottomless Water Bucket. It allows you, instead of pouring an endless amount of water, it allows you to pour an endless amount of lava. It can be obtained extremely rarely when fishing in lava, so it is very hard to get. But again, you know, once you can start fishing in lava, again, bug net comes in there, then you can hope for finding one of these, and that will allow you to pour an endless amount of lava. So just to show you it at work, I can pour a lot of lava forever and ever. and that's what it's for. And likewise, there is also the lava absorbent sponge. So the lava absorbent sponge can absorb or remove an endless amount of lava, similar to the super absorbent sponge, which can absorb an endless amount of water. Now you have one for lava as well, and that's what this is for. And likewise, it is obtained extremely rarely when fishing in lava. So we'll show you that at work quickly. I can actually just soak up the lava that's in here, or I can soak some of that up. Of course, that's just out of reach, which is why I grabbed the other one. That's what that one's for. And we're going to move right on into the next station, or next section. While we're here, I'll just come back to the regular forest for that. So I'm just going to talk about a couple of quick crafting stations that have been added. First up is the Teapot. So the Teapot crafts teacups from bottled water. It will turn bottled water into teacups, which is considered a type of food in the game. It is obtained by crafting it from 12 clay blocks and 12 bones at a furnace. So you will craft this. It's sort of like, you know, making china, I guess, from clay and bones at a furnace. And it just works by sitting it down somewhere, and then that allows you to craft tea. So I've got a few bottles of water that will allow me to make teacups, and it's just minor quote-unquote food. It gives you a 5-minute duration boost, so that's a consumable, and it just turns water into that, and you get your little well-fed buff minor version for 5 minutes. And you can do that endlessly because you just need bottled water, which you can, you know, all you need is some glass and fill it up and so on. And that's that. That's the teacup. So then other thing that I'm going to tell you about is the Decay Chamber. So Decay Chamber crafts, it's a furniture crafting station, essentially. It crafts Corruption Legion furniture from Legion blocks. It does effectively require a meat grinder in order to craft the Legion blocks to begin with. So you'll need a meat grinder first before you can really use this. And it is purchased from the Steampunker for 10 gold. So I did bring some Legion blocks along, so we'll place this down just to show you. You can always make platforms and background walls from those blocks, but this allows you to make various other furniture items with that Legion theme, that sort of corruption theme. And that's what that's for. So we'll move along to our next section. All right, so for this section, we're going to talk about 3 new tools and then 3 new grappling hooks. So first up is the Fossil Pickaxe, and it is a pickaxe that can mine up to Demonite and Crimtane, fairly early game pickaxe, but you know, reasonable early game pickaxe. It has the same pickaxe power as the gold pickaxe, but is faster than the gold or platinum pickaxes. It can be found in the underground desert, or it can be crafted from 12 sturdy fossils plus 4 wood at an anvil. And I'll just show you quickly. It's fast. So it's a nice thing to be able to find early in the game, basically to get you to an equivalent of a gold or platinum pickaxe, but that you can get very quickly. Sort of like you can also get the Reaver Shark, which of course has been downgraded to be equivalent to those pickaxes as well now. But, you know, again, nice fast pickaxe, another option that you can find fairly quickly or make fairly quickly. So next up is the Gravedigger's Shovel. The Gravedigger's Shovel is used to dig up soft tiles more quickly. It will dig up to 9 tiles at once around the vicinity of the cursor. It can dig dirt, mud, grass, ash, clay, sand, silt, slush, snow, and shell piles. It can only be crafted at an anvil that is placed in a graveyard. I believe it requires at least 6 gravestones nearby. It can be crafted from 12 iron or lead bars plus 3 wood at such an anvil in a graveyard. So we'll just show you that in action quickly as well. So you can see I can dig up like entire sections with that very quickly. So if you're digging through dirt or whatever, that's going to be a nice quick option. And the last one as far as tools is actually the Haemorrhaxe. It is a hard mode ham axe with as much hammer power as the Pwn Hammer and very high axe power. It's a 1 in 8 chance to drop from Hemogoblin sharks and blood eels, which are some of those special enemies that can be fished up during a hard mode blood moon. So Haemorrhaxe is obviously it's a hammer and an axe, so it can do either of those. But you can see very high axe power will cut down trees incredibly quickly, and likewise it can hammer reasonably as well. So that's the Haemorrhaxe, and then we're going to move on to grappling hooks. So first up among the grappling hooks is the Squirrel Hook. The Squirrel Hook has the unique ability to grapple onto trees. Otherwise, it's very similar to your basic grappling hook. It is sold by the zoologist for 2 gold at any time, so if you get the zoologist and you can get 2 gold put together, then you can just buy this, which also makes it a very nice, easy option for getting a grappling hook early in the game. So let's just show that in action. Of course, grappling hook can grapple onto things, but this one can also grapple onto trees, which makes it kind of interesting. I guess you can hide up in the trees if you like. So that's the Squirrel Hook. Next up is the Amber Hook, which really is just another early game gem hook that's been added. It fits between the ruby and diamond hooks in terms of its statistic. So it's just another option to be able to get a quick grappling hook early in the game. If you can put together 15 amber, you can craft this from 15 amber at an anvil. And that's the Amber Hook. Does not grapple to trees. Does grapple to other things, but you can see it's a nice long grappling hook. Has quite a solid reach. Again, right between the ruby and diamond hooks in terms of its statistics, which makes it pretty good. So last up, as far as new grappling hooks, is the Hook of Dissonance. So this is actually a hard mode single latch hook, which is interesting. It only has 1 latch point, but only available in hard mode because it has a unique ability, which is a fast teleport pull method. So this is kind of an interesting ability, really differentiates it from other grappling hooks. It has a 1 in 3 chance to be dropped by Queen Slime in normal mode or classic difficulty, or a 1 in 2 chance in her expert or master mode treasure bag. So if you're playing on those difficulties, you get a little bit better chance of getting it. And just to show you that one in action, again, does not grapple to trees, but it does have this teleport ability. So it's like it basically works out to be about twice as fast as other grappling hooks, but yeah, it doesn't actually go through blocks, but it will go through enemies. So if you have enemies in between you and your point, it will actually teleport you through those enemies and get you to the other side. It will only actually take you to places where a grappling hook could otherwise take you. It will not take you through small gaps or through walls. I had obviously forgotten about that a little. So it's not an actual teleporter in terms of being able to go through obstacles, but it will teleport you through enemies, which can be a nice little way of avoiding some damage there. So for the last section, I'm actually going to be covering items sold by the new NPCs, and you'll be hearing the birds chirping there a little, because the first one that I want to tell you about is the Guide to Critter Companionship. So the Guide to Critter Companionship prevents you from damaging or killing critters. Those are harmless things like bugs, bunnies, squirrels, birds, and so on. It simply needs to be placed in your inventory in order to be effective. It is sold by the zoologist for 5 gold at any time. So I'm actually just going to keep this in my inventory and swap it for the pickaxe as far as my active item. So as I say, it only needs to be in your inventory, and you'll notice I can't kill these squirrels now. Trying to murder the squirrels with my pickaxe, but I can't because of the Guide to Critter Companionship. And again, it works on birds and various other critters that are around. So if you want to be a friend to the animals, that's what the Guide for Critter Companionship is about. No more murdering bunnies if you have that. So next one, though, that I'm going to talk to you about is the Critter Shampoo. So the Critter Shampoo allows you to use dyes to change the color of summoned minions. Technically, it is a vanity item. It is equipped in a social accessory slot, and then you equip a dye next to it. It is sold by the zoologist for 10 gold once you have filled out 30% of the bestiary or 156 entries in the bestiary. So I've summoned a hornet minion just to show you how this works, and what that is going to look like is you put this Critter Shampoo in actually any of your social slots, accessory slots, not your armor slots, but your social accessory slots. And then you can just put a dye next to it, and it'll dye your minion that color. So obviously you can do that with whatever colors you like. I've just got some very basic dyes here, but of course you can get into the fancier versions and special dyes and whatever it is you like, but that's what that item is for. So next up then is the Fairy Glowstick. So Fairy Glowstick is actually a consumable item. It's like a regular glowstick except that it hovers or flies above the ground. So you basically throw it down like you would a regular glow stick, and then it hovers up and tries to find actually a fairly effective spot to light up the area. It's actually particularly useful underwater. It tends to actually light up a bigger area than a regular glow stick. So it is sold by the zoologist for 75 copper once you have recorded all 3 fairies in the bestiary. So first you have to find all of the 3 types of fairies, and then you can buy these from the zoologist. So let's just show you that. Obviously, not necessarily the best place to show the lighting effect, but you can see it kind of bounces along the ground and then flies up there just because of the terrain. And that's what it does. It just flies up above. It's probably going to look a little better in here. You can see the light a tiny bit. Obviously, it's going to work better in a dark area. So that's what a fairy glow stick looks like. And next up is the tree globe. So the tree globe is a consumable item as well. When thrown, it changes the surrounding trees to another style of tree. So if you don't like what the trees look like in whatever area you're in, you can use one of these and change the style of your trees. It is sold by the zoologist for 3 gold after 50%. Half of the bestiary has been completed, which works out to 260 items. So I do have one of those here as well. Maybe I should zoom out so you can see the trees in their totality. And if I just throw that down, you can see it has a sort of radius effect. It's changed the trees in this particular little zone, but not over there, which is kind of interesting as well. And similarly, there is also a world globe. So likewise consumable. When thrown, it changes the background of the current biome. And it is just the same as far as obtaining it. Is sold by the zoologist for 3 gold after 50% of the bestiary has been completed. So we'll show you that as well. And that's basically just going to change the background. There it is. And I believe this also has a radius effect, because one of my friends used this in our multiplayer. Yeah, you can see it changes again. It's basically just changes it within a certain zone around where you threw it, which is kind of interesting too. Last thing though that we're going to talk about today is the lawnmower. So the lawnmower, it mows grass. So it can mow regular forest and hallowed grass specifically. It does not grow, or it does not actually mow other grass types per se. It will actually change forest and hallowed grass into quote-unquote mowed grass, which reduces enemy spawns, prevents tall grass from growing, and affects the movement of golf balls. So that's probably where the idea came from primarily, is to help you with your golf games, and so you don't have enemies wandering the golf course, so to speak. But obviously it can be useful to reduce enemy spawns anyway. So on other types of grass, however, it only removes weeds and flowers. It will not change the grass. Also, technically you can use it as a weapon. It inflicts 8 damage, so that could be fun too. It is sold by the golfer for 1 gold at any time. So we'll just show you the lawnmower in action here, and you can see the texture of the grass actually changes when you use this. And technically you can even use this on walls and stuff as well. So now that I've used that here, I will have fewer enemies spawn in this particular area, and that's basically what it's for. And you can see it's more of a finer sort of mowed grass look for that grass in that area. Fewer enemies spawning there, and so on. So actually let's zoom in so you can see that again. I zoomed out for the other things, but yeah, you can see up close the texture of the grass has changed. And that's all the items I have for you today. That's all the new consumable and tool or utility items that have been added in 1.4. So check out my other guides on the new weapons, the new accessories, my luck guide, and so on if you want information on those. But I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.